Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we are doing the Inoue versus Nery recap video, as we are going to discuss the undisputed title fight that took place just yesterday on May 6th in the main event of an ESPN Plus card that saw Naoya Inoue defend his undisputed super bantamweight title at 122 pounds against former two-division world champion Luis Nery. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So this fight was, it really started off with a bang. Well, first off, I'm sitting there with one eye open, because I got to get up at like 4:15, 4:20 in the morning to watch the fight. But I didn't care. I love boxing, so I'm dedicated to it. But yeah, I mean, I was shocked like everybody else when Luis Nery, boom, lands that left hand on Inoue in the first round and puts him down. That was like, whoa, did that just happen? But that, I was telling everybody, going in, that Luis Nery, talent-wise, on paper, is one of the best fighters that Inoue's ever fought. He really is. Talent-wise going in, Nery's still, in my opinion, in his prime. So this was a big fight in terms of, knowledge and talent and all that stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that Luis Nery can do right there. Luis Nery, very sound, very, very technically sound. Very good boxer, solid power. We saw that with the Hovhannissian fight, and also not afraid to mix it up. That might have been detrimental to him, but what's the difference? You're going to stand there and let Inoue come at you and hit you, or you're going to, stand in the pocket and see what you can do. And, he did his best. He scored the knockdown in the first round, and Inoue was hurt. That wasn't a flash knockdown. He was hurt, not badly hurt, but hurt enough. And then, but the second round, Inoue put him down to even the score. You could tell that knockdown pissed Inoue off and pumped him up to do better, to be better. And then third round, put him down again. Left hooks on both of those. But in the fifth or the sixth round, the fourth and fifth round was basically him just breaking down Inoue, breaking the barrier, busting him up. You could see Nery's head snapping back more and more. And then in that sixth round, you knew he was hurt and it was coming soon. And then what I liked about the knockout was it was almost like he threw one punch that landed first that set it up, but it wasn't as hard, if that makes sense, because that was actually the punch in the third round was the same thing. The first left hook landed, but it wasn't exactly what he wanted. So about a second later, he, stepped into the punch more, rotated his hand more. It was more of a deadly, powerful hook that put Nery down, and that was the third round knockdown. But the knockdown and the knockout punch in the fifth round was started with a right uppercut that landed, and then he followed up immediately after with the straight right that just brutally knocked Nery, out through the ropes. Nery just was done, and that's, it's sad to see a great fighter like Luis Nery get knocked out that way, but that shows you that Naoya Inoue is not, him and Terrence Crawford, and what makes a fighter a pound-for-pound type fighter, and I throw Usyk in there because for me, that's the top 3 pound-for-pound right now, is there's really good fighters, there's great fighters, and then there's special fighters. And that's what Naoya Inoue is. He's a special fighter, and I don't throw that around lightly. I really don't. For instance, Canelo Alvarez. I love Canelo. I'm a big fan of Canelo. I think he's the face of boxing and everything. I'm a fan. And I think Canelo is a great fighter. He's probably Mexico's all-time best fighter, to be honest. And I know there's going to be Chavez fans that don't agree with me, but I think Canelo's accomplished more and all that, and he is just a very, very good to great fighter. But Naoya Inoue, in my book, you know, is past that. Terrence Crawford is past that. It's like a Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao type of special fighter, you know? And that's what I see with Naoya Inoue. He is that deadly, that good, that ultra talented. The power, the combination, the fact that he can keep moving up in weight and knocking people out this way, it's so impressive. And it was just a fantastic performance. And you know, Luis Nery, nothing to hang his head about. He did something nobody else has done, and he also, you know, went in there and stood his ground and fought the best in the world as best as he could and scored a knockdown. And, you know, that's what you do. And nobody's expecting you to win. You go and you put your balls on the table and see what you can pull off. You don't stand back. You don't stay away. You don't try to go the distance like Paul Butler did against Inoue. But that shows you that Paul Butler is just not one of those fighters. That's why he was a flash in the pan, kind of a placeholder for Inoue to just beat his ass and become champ. And that's also why that's not, even though Inoue became undisputed that night against Butler, it wasn't one of his more memorable performances because the guy didn't want to fight him, you know? And that's the difference between really good, great fighters to average fighters, you know, like Paul Butler is, you know, those guys are going to go for it. And again, Luis Nery's got nothing to hang his head about. He did as well as he could have done. I hope he comes back at 122 because once Inoue moves on, Luis Nery can be the king of that division for a couple more years before he hangs him up. So, but a great performance by both men, Naoya Inoue and Luis Nery. I'll do my What's Next videos on them next week. Just touching on, it was a great night for Japan as Inoue's little brother retained his bantamweight title, and then Jason Maloney lost to the Japanese challenger that he fought in the co-feature and lost his title in an upset. So congrats to the fighters on the card. I'll do my What's Next on Inoue and Nery next week. I hope you enjoyed the video. This was the Inoue versus Nery ESPN recap. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.